morning, traders. Welcome to our daily webinar. This is a webinar for my group, which I do. I'm in the trading room right now. We were discussing some trades, and then I'm recording the webinar for the general public. I hope all of you are enjoying this webinar, and the general public in TradingView. Over 1,000 people or more is watching it, which is not amazing as it should be, but great. Now you can help another 1,000 people find the video and watch it. If they don't like it, they will not watch it. But there are thousands of more people who would like to watch it because they just don't know that these videos are free and they're available. And my method is a little different, so they will decide if they like this method. Right? You have to just share it, that's all. So we're asking you, if you like it and you watch it, please share it. Help someone else see it. Now, you might not watch the whole video because we do a lot of things. We do stocks, we do cryptos, we do Forex, we do metals, we do all of that. What I'm going to do in the future, if I can see that people are supporting these videos very well, what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to split it into 3 short videos. One only for Forex, one for stocks and indexes and maybe metals there, and another one for cryptos. So the crypto one will be very short. It might be about 15 minutes. The stock one will be about 30 minutes, and the Forex one will be about 30 minutes, somewhere around there. So what I would also like from you, suggestions as to what crypto pair. On Facebook, on YouTube, we've got one suggestion for a crypto pair, which I can add, as long as the majority of people are going to watch it. If the majority don't like that, I would like your suggestion. Go in the comment and leave your comments. What crypto pairs you think I should take off, what I should add, because it's going to be doing for you. I personally don't trade cryptos yet. I would like to trade only one. I'll tell you which one, and I think some of you know it already. I'm focused very much on the Ripple, simply because of the risk to reward if it goes. If it doesn't go, the money I invest in that, I'm willing to lose. So it's more of an investment thing for a longer term. It should be 30-1 if it goes. Right? So please help share these videos. It's Friday. I hope you enjoy it, and please help share it. Let's go. I know it's a long introduction, but sorry about that. Let's go. Dollar index. If you've never seen my videos, go watch them on YouTube. Dollar index. Dollar index is going sideways, which means it can go up a little more. I said a little more because in the bigger picture, we cannot confirm the upside as yet. We still cannot confirm it. And you see that arrow, just to make sure. There might be people who say, why you can't confirm it that it's going up? I want you to understand the way we look at wave analysis and the way we look at impulse, corrections, impulse, which is something I introduced very much into more. It came from the way, it didn't came from Elliott, by the way. Impulse, correction, impulse came way before Elliott, right? If you know the Dow theory, you would know the 3 wave patterns that he was talking about. And if you know before Dow, there's somebody who probably saw impulse, corrections, impulse on these charts, right? I don't think people were looking at these charts and didn't say, you know what, this thing keeps going back and then come down, right? So it was there way before. But I have had a slant to it, and I've made an accent to it so the traders could focus on the corrections. People used to look at the corrections as the market correcting itself, and they never thought that you could study the corrections to understand, right? Study more focusedly on the corrections, like Elliott taught. Elliott, I think, was the first person who focused a lot on the corrective structures. And that is where we pick it up, and we have made it a little better. So this actually is an arrow from here. And if you look at this, you had a 1, you had a 2, you had a 3. And it was huge because it's as huge as this arrow is. 1, 2. If this is a 3, we are coming down. That's one option. The second option is this one is going up. This one went up really fast. This one is going up really slow. It could be a slow climb. We call that the squeeze. It always shows divergence here, right? So we looked at that and we said, is there a possibility that this is the flat and this is coming down? Or is this going to be a bigger flat here and we get one more up? And both of those possibilities are absolutely correct. I'm not going to go into the details of why, because we have studied that. That's the difference with Elliott wave from what we did, is understanding how the nature of these patterns change. It's not only recognizing them, but recognizing a possibility of the one you're looking at is not the right one. Actually, it's a much more complex one in the future. And I'm not going to go into, I can tell you where to look at it. Look at the Puncad and look at the Aussie, New Zealand. I'll show you some of those. But I'm not going into details of how we study them and how we understand them. Right? That is for the training course if you want. So what you're looking at is the possibility of how this could develop. It could either drop totally, make a new low, which is we were expecting that to happen. We would like to see them break this low. That line is still there. I would like to see them do this, break this low. and then start the up move. There's a big up move coming. Now, if this is the start of the up move, no problem. I just don't like the way this is going. Tell me that's not confirming a big impulse coming, right? Big impulse rarely goes so slow. But if it is going so slow, no problem. We're still taking small trades until we confirm a bigger correction, right? So this will be a small trade, and you have to be careful because you're getting divergence. What does divergence mean? I think I did a video on divergence. You should watch it. Right? Divergence means momentum is dying out. So we're looking at this, and we can see that there's still divergence all along. So the momentum is dying out from this up move. Be careful. You can buy. Silver, when it was the top there, I was warning, be careful, it's going to come back down, and it did come back down. Now I said I want a big correction. When it was here, I said I want to see a correction like this for the downside. Well, again, I'm expecting a corrective structure. It did go up, it did come down, and now it's going back up. That is what I like to see. This is a corrective pattern. If that proves me correct, that is a running flat, I'm looking for the sell. I'm not looking for a buy. Today in our trading room, we looked at this and we said, can we take a short-term buy to the upside? And I said to my traders, you can take it. It's an adrenaline rush. And there's a reason why I said that, because two things could happen. It could do this, you get an expanding flat and we go down. Right? That's one option. Second option is just break the stop like this and drop, and we get a running flat and we go down. Is there a chance that this could be the start of a much bigger correction? One chance. Again, it's depending on how we look at pattern. If you look at this as a contracting flat, and this is ending the structure, this could be the first impulse in a much bigger corrective structure here before we go down. Everything is leading up to another impulse here, either a short impulse or a long impulse. So if you're taking this trade, you have 2 chances in 3 that is going to make a big move up. One is that it will not make it. So you're 66% that is going to go up. You're 33% that it could stop here and drop. And all of those conditions and situations could come out of this. Now, this is where wave analysis comes in. It teaches you all the possibilities because of all the variations of the patterns we know. That's the huge difference in what I do and what you get out there, is that I teach you all the possibilities, and then you make an educated decision based on the possibilities that exist. Now, knowing the possibilities is important because now you know how you are going to trade it, what's your strategy, and how you're going to manage the trade once you're in. If you have no clue about those possibilities, you're trading blindly. You're just hoping that it's going to go. And hope is never a strategy. We have Russians in here. There's a Russian psychologist. I will give you the name later. I was watching one of his video yesterday because he was talking about a very important topic. I'm straying away here by a little, but I think it's important. He's talking about a very important topic, and it's your brain with your, how you say that in English? I'll probably get you guys in trouble now. It was showing you how your brain compared to the patterns, character patterns you have, if I translated that correct in English. And he's also comparing that with, my English will fail me here now if I go there, right? So I'll probably post it and have one of the Russians translate. I can watch it in Russian. I understand everything. I just can't translate. And that's weird. People always ask me, if you know the Russian, how can you put it in English? I can speak English. I can speak Russian. I cannot translate. Translation is a different thing that you learn in school when you do that. We didn't learn to translate. The amazing thing is when I came to study in Russia, they didn't teach us to translate. They taught us like babies. They taught us the alphabet. They taught us syllables. They taught us words. They taught us sentence. They taught us phrase, and they never translated. My teacher who taught me didn't know English language. She knew French. The people in my group were not all English speaking. One was French speaking. One was from India, South India. One was from Nepal. They speak little English, some of them. I think the South Indian guys speak very well English. The Nepali girl, she's more or less average English. Me, I'm Guyanese. I have my Creole English. So it wasn't a full English class. And we had one guy who was from Panama. I think he was Spanish speaking. So they don't teach you translation. They teach you, they learn you the language like they would teach you a language from the day you were born. And that's a whole different method of teaching when you come to Russia to study. So that was different. And that is why I can't translate. I can understand 100% of the language. I can speak I think about, if you take out the accent, about 60%, 70%. If you take out the accent, if you put accent as a factor, then I'm pretty much low down. I go 60 to 70 because of the grammatical mistakes I will make, and I make them a lot now. I used to make them less when I was in university because we used to have Russian classes twice a week. Now they're much more. So basically, I can't translate in a short term, right? I can understand people and I can speak to them, but I can't translate. So I'll tell you, I will put it out. One of the Russians guy will translate for you. It's very interesting. You might find it in English as well somewhere. So it's important for you to understand that having options, understanding what is the reality from what your perception is and how you understand the charts, right? From what the charts are actually doing, right? Not because you know a pattern and you think you're seeing that pattern, that is exactly the pattern that will form. There are variations of how it could change. And if you follow those variations and know them and understand all the variations that exist, then you have an advantage and you have an edge in the market. And that's what we teach you to do. How to look at the chart so that you have an edge in the market. So I said, yeah, that's a good buy. I think it's a good buy. You just have to be able to manage it the right way. That's all. If you manage it the right way, you don't have to worry about it. So the three variations I gave you, how it could develop, let's see which one happens. It will still be a sell. Whichever of those three happened, whichever of those three pattern developed, this is still going to be a sell. So that doesn't change. So if you're looking at this structurally, that will not change anything. If it does this and start to fall, I will be in the sell. If it does this, do this, and do this, and then start to come down, I will be in the sell. If it makes an expanding flat like this, come back here, make a flag to go, I will be in the sell. Whichever of those three variations of the corrective patterns develop, we're looking for a sell. Because the sell is the big trade back to this low. So that short trade that I'm showing you there is for my traders who are in the room very bored. They might get a small one there, but this is the trade I'm looking for. And I think that is the trade you should look for. This is the trade you're looking for. Can you take a short up trade in that thing? Maybe, if you have nothing to do. If you're bored and you want to test your skills, you can do that. But this is the trade you don't want to miss. Whatever happens here, whichever variations of corrective structure develop there, you want the sell. And then we will all look for the buy. Let's go. Gold. Gold, you got the sell. We looked at the structure. We told you it's a sell setup. Some of my traders sell it. You're getting another sell setup here. So far, this is a sell setup. Be careful. It is very steep in the, when they have such steep correction, they could drop here, correct it a little, go back up, and then you get the pretty much a more long drawn out correction. So that line might be, if you're not very sure how to trade it, you got to be careful here. It's going up. It could keep going up a while. It could make a very sharp spike like this and then correct and then go back up and then give you something like this. But right now, I think it's a correction because we were expecting it to break this low. We're expecting it to break this low. We're looking at a running flat pattern, something if you look at my long-term video, you would see. We spoke about it when it was in here. We said this could possibly be more of a long-term structure. Come back here, and then they would either make a new high or they will continue to fall. Same with silver. It will either continue to fall or it will go for a new high. And both of those are possible when you're looking at this pattern. You're either as a correction or the start of a downside. They both start the same way. An impulse, a correction, drop. An impulse, a correction, another impulse, up. And the reason you look at it that way is because you're the very top of the structure. That's why you have to look at it that way. Euro did not come back up as I expected. I mean, give me the running flat. That doesn't mean we're not going to get a running flat. I'll show you the Aussie trade. Remind me to show you the Aussie pairs. Or go watch my Aussie video. You will see how long they took to make those running flats sometimes. So is this all the correction for this down move? I don't think so. So at some point, this will give you something like this and go. You can sell. That was a sell. This is a sell. You can sell it. But at some point, you just have to remember that it might come back here to move your trade to break even. So that when that happens, you're not losing the trade and then you don't get this. You might even get a buy setup here in the upside. It is likely going to happen. I may be able to show you one of that right here. Let me see if I can find one of those running flat patterns. And I mean a long drawn out one, not a short one. Oh, I can show you one. I'll have to put it in the daily. This is one of the longest running flat you're going to see. So you see this sharp move here? And then look at this, 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 look at this. Here you got that move back. That's a running flat. All of this were short-term trades. See how they went? And then you would get this, you would get this, and that completes the whole pattern. You're looking for this one, and you're looking for this one. And hopefully we might break that top. So this might just be a correction that goes there, break the top, and then come back. So I just showed you a running flat. How long this took? This one started in August 18, right? The up move started in there. Well, let's take the top, right? September 18. If you take the top of when that curve finishes in 20, March 20. So you pretty much got about 2 years, a year, something there, right? That's how long a running flat could go. So when I'm telling you I'm looking for a running flat here, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for this to very soon make something like this and then go, and we'll have this small, very small running flat for a sell setup. That would confirm the sell. It doesn't mean you can't take smaller sells inside. You just have to be aware that you're in a running flat and you have to manage these trades, because one of them is going to spike up on you and you will be in trouble. So let's see. Here's a smaller version of an expanding flat, not a running flat, but it's very similar. One down, up, drop, go. We thought we'd get a running flat here. If you're following me, I told you there's going to be a running flat here and they'll go back up. Go watch that video on this date. You'll see it. That's the 18th, I think. We're expecting a running flat. We got an expanding flat. That's okay. It's part of the trade. So keep your eyes on this. It's a sell setup. Pong. So yesterday, if you watch the Pong, we told you we were always selling Pong. We want to sell because this here is going to fall. This thing that was happening here will fall. And we were expecting a very big fall. It didn't go very big. It actually, yesterday I said this could either be a contracting flat or we'll get a running flat. So I was expecting one more move up like this before we go down, if we're going to continue to go down. Well, they actually made a move like that. So the question is, can we still look at this as an expanding flat? It is possible. It's very possible that could still be an expanding flat. But because we break out of this structure, because they're consolidating at the top here, I'm more inclined to go back and take that as a contracting flat. This is the move down. We sold that, by the way. I sold this first one and I got breaking. And I don't know if any of my traders sold the second one, right? But we took the trade. We sold this one here and we took the trade out for break even. I didn't think we sold this. It was a sell. I don't know if it's a. So this is likely going to come here. You can give it a sell if you want, because there's the very rare chance it's going to come here. But most likely, I think we're going to do this and we're going to tag the top again. So we will have a flat here. We'll tag the top again and we're going down. All right. So that is a trade to the upside, but I think it's still downside in the big picture. This structure has not changed. See, all you have is probably a bigger correction in here. A bigger running flat. We've had a few of those. And if that is the case, then this might just go tag the top and come right back here. See? It has done that before. So if that is the case, that's what we can watch for. Come right back down to the bottom. So there's a buy setup forming here. It has to do a few things before it becomes the buy setup you want, which means it has to come down a little more to make sure that you have a flat pattern there. Let's go back on the 1 hour. I would like this to come back here. Make a flat here at the top there, and then go. Can you take this sell here to see whether this is going to drop with a small flat at the top here and not breaking the top? I don't think that is going to happen. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. You can give it a try if you want, if you have the skills to do it. Aussie, we sold Aussie. We closed it this morning. We started to pull back. So remember I said, here's a running flat on the Aussie. So when this happened, and this go back and watch the webinar there when this was coming down, we expect one more up and then the drop. Well, it came down, but it's not dropping as yet. It's still probably going to go down more. I still think we're going to have more downside. So we'll wait to see whether they make a bigger consolidation here and drop. If this goes back to the top here, I don't see whereby this could go. We did break this low, but this is too short. I think it can go some more before they go back up. So we'll keep an eye on it. If it's going to be a buy setup, we'll take it, but we don't have any buy setup. If it makes a flag, we'll probably consider that they're making a bigger move. This could be a 3-wave pattern. This could be a 1, 2, 3, and then drop. The first wave was a 1, 2, 3. If you look at it, this was a 1, a 2, and a 3, and then it dropped. So if they're going to go back to break this stop, we'll get a flag here that we'll consider a short-term buy. And that's how the structures change, by the way. Right? So New Zealand, let's go Aussie. New Zealand, we did not consider this sell, and I told you why, because this possible could have been a flat here and then go back up. It did drop, and it dropped again, and now it dropped. So where we are, we're in the middle of a big correction. See this? Don't worry if you didn't get any trade. You're in the middle of a big correction. We haven't broken the low, we haven't broken the top, we haven't even broken this top. And we're making something like this in the middle here. This could go right back to the top, come back here, go back there, and then come here and then go. That's one variation of how it could develop. The second one is if this dropped way down to the bottom, because this was a correction. So I think this is the 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. I expect this to come back here, go back up, come back down, and then go. Get a big flat in the middle here, come back down, and then go. So there might be a little more downside here today. Not a trading setup. Let it happen and then look for the upside. Swiss was a buy. You had a buy there yesterday. You had a buy here. We had a buy in this one here yesterday as well. Instead of buying this Swiss, I bought the yen. It was the same trade. You could have bought it in this one or bought in the breakout. We bought the yen in the breakout. It's consolidating. You're getting a buy setup here again. So if it consolidates like this, we're looking for the buy. If it's good, what if they're turning from here to go down? Just what if? You might ask a question. Traders do ask some question. Why do you think it's going to go? Why is it not going to go down? Or do we have any reason to think it's going to go down? Right now, no, we don't have any reason to think it's going to go down. There is one chance, and I think I showed you that already, that it might be doing this running flat. Right? See that 1, 2, 3? There's a possible 1, 2, 3 here. Do this running flat, and then it could still come here. Right? We don't have divergence, and I'm very careful. They didn't have divergence in this one either. See? So we'll have to be careful with this. But if it is going to go down, then it's easy. You don't have to chase it. You just let it prove to you that it's going down. So what it has to do is it has to come down all the way here, make a flag, and then we will sell. We will go for the sell when we see this. But right now, it's consolidating here for upside. So that's one more buy that you're going to manage carefully if you take it, because it might not go very far. Yen. Yen is the trade we took. We're out of that trade. At least I'm out of it. I think all my traders are out of it. It starts to consolidate here. And if this becomes a bigger consolidation, we buy again. If it is going to fall, we look for a sell setup. I don't see the fall as yet, but there's one thing I showed you that we might be gauging it for this bigger pattern. And that would be this one, comparison here, and go back there, and then possibly one more down. I want to see this pattern being negated. I want to see them break out of this, go up like that, and then we will no longer be looking for that. We'll be looking for total upside, which means we can buy again. If this consolidates here, we'll be looking for a buy setup above that top there again. Go to the 1 hour. If this becomes a consolidation that we know, and I think it could be a consolidation, we'll buy above the top. So I want to see this come here, come back down here, go, and then we'll buy this pattern. We might get a different entry at some point. But for now, that is what we're looking for, a buy setup. CAD, I'm already in this buy. We got in a little too early. I'm in the buy from here. We got in a little too early in that buy. It's coming down, but I think this is more of a correction. One more here. When it breaks this top, I'll put it to break even. I'm waiting for the breakout. I think it will break out today. So if it breaks out of that, we'll be in the trade. What if it comes back? We'll see. I may close the trade or even take a loss. Right? So why I think that is it? Because this move down is really sharp, and this was the flat. See? This was the correction. You got to move down, got this, you get this. If this had fall from here, or this had fall from here, we'd expect them to break the low. But because it went back that much and it's making a flag here, I think it's going to go. Right? So let's see. Like I said, I'm in from right to the corner here, so it's not like you're far. You're in from there, the stop is here. So let's see if this goes. If it's going to pull back without going, let's say they pull back like this, and I think it's going to go down. If we see structurally that this is correction up to go down more, we'll close the trade and then we'll pull this and we'll wait for a buy setup. Right? So there are ways you can manage the trade when you're already in it. So Aussie Swiss, is that where I'm? Yes, Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss is still going up. It looks like it's going to go up a little more too. This looks like it could go up a little more if they consolidate back like this. we're still in this big consolidation, and this doesn't look like the impulse up, but Aussie Swiss is moving like that. If you go back, you would see the movement is pretty much like that, right? There, see this pull back, but there you go. So this pullback here looks very much to decent, and they could still go higher. We'll see if we get a buy setup today. Aussie yen, you're definitely getting a buy setup here. You're getting a bigger flat. This was a small one. We bought that. Trade close for break even. We're looking for this one. If this breaks out, well, we'll expect it to go as we expected it to go and break this stop. Break this stop here. Somewhere at the top here, you would move your stop into your profit and see what happens. So if you take the trade here, you'll probably move your stop to somewhere here. Once they break that up, and we'll see how far they go. Is it going to continue to go, or is it going to come back down here? That is possible. But it could be a breakout, because this could be all your consolidation, and this could be the start of the up move. So it's a good trade. I actually like it very much. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD didn't go. We were looking for a buy above here. As a matter of fact, it's coming down lower. No big deal. Let it go. I'm not looking for a sell. I'll still be looking for the buy setup. But we don't have any setup to buy right now. Aussie New Zealand. It's going very slow. So if you buy, you have to expect it to do this. Can it drop? It can, but not as yet. We don't have a setup that says it's going to go down. It could crawl its way back up to the top. See this one, how it crawled its way up? Look at this piece. They actually went up like this. So they could do the same thing here. Stay out of it. It's hard to trade. Not hard, you're going to take long. So Euro Pound yesterday, I told you we were expecting this piece. Once we got this in the middle here, we were expecting it to at least retest the low. Right? I have the line for it to come and retest the low and then go back up. Right? We're looking at this pattern here. And we said when they retest the low, there's likelihood they're going to go back up. Right? Well, it actually break. That was the pound news time, and they break lower. Nothing is wrong with it going lower than that. Is it still going to go up? So we're still looking at this pattern. Nothing has changed, except that this little piece came down. That didn't affect anything. We've got bigger moves than that coming down. Structurally, didn't change anything for me. So I don't see this as an impulse to the downside, which means even if they do this and come here, I'm still expecting this there and then the downside. Now, could this be that this would be an A, a B, and a C, and we totally go up for one more high? You can check the monthly chart or the weekly chart to see whether that possibility exists, right? It could be, but I don't think it's going to happen. The simple reason is because we have had a big flat in the middle here already. We made a new high, and we reversed from that point. So this is all a correction for more downside. That's what I think. I don't think it's a correction for more upside. But we will see. Right? As we go along here, we'll see. I think this was the top of that corrective structure. This was a corrective structure going up. I don't think it was an impulse. We're pretty much in a big corrective move. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come back to about this level. Right? If this move here, that move there, come back to this move here. So that is why I said this might be the start of an impulse to the downside, a start of a move to the downside in a bigger correction. So on the shorter time frame, I'm expecting it to go back up. Right now, it's not going anywhere. It looks even more downside. If they consolidate here, you can get one more down. You should take it because we could still go and break this low. So there's one more sell setup. I think there's a buy setup in the pound today we're looking at. After that, we expect the pound to turn. Euro yen. We're looking for the upside. We still don't have it. It did break out, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't give you a flag. It's actually giving you a correction for one more down. All right, so this looks like one more down here. Not a big trade. You'll have to be careful. Can it break out of this structure and fall? Let's go look at that. I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't think so. I think we're trying to go down. This could be the big correction. This could just be this. Like, you still have to get this. That's the problem. So I still think there's probably one more up before they come down. Right? I still think there's a move up about this, like to come down. So let's wait and see. I don't see any trade setup there that I want to trade as yet. I'm definitely not trading the sell inside of the structure. I'll trade something else. Euro Swiss. We sold this. It's not going anywhere as yet. I'm still in it. The stop is here. When this comes a little down, it looks like it's going to come down a little here. We'll probably close the trade. If it drops, good. But if it comes down slow, we'll close it. Take it either a break even or a small loss. Euro Oz, it's going sideways. We kind of see consolidation here. You wanted to consolidate, and then you're looking for a drop. Let's go into 1 hour. Right, you're consolidating, so which means you're probably going to go up a little more. I think this one here should go back up there, give you a flat, and then we look for a sell. Let's go. You're in New Zealand. Some of my traders took this buy. It's in a buy here, but it's tag and come back. So you wait for this to go back here, close the trade, look for a new entry. It still looks upside. Or they're going to make a bigger consolidation here, which means if they're making a bigger consolidation here, this one will start to do this, right? Kind of come back here, go up there, and then come down. So we might get something like this. So you could probably get out the break even and then decide if you want to get back in. EuroCAD. So it's not going anywhere as yet. It's still sideways, so probably stay away from that. You might get a sell set up here today. If this goes back up there and start to drop, that would be a nice sell setup for us. Pang Oz came down, gone up back some more, so we can pull this trend line all the way to this level. And I think now we might confirm that they're going to make this big one, right? Remember I showed you the possibility of a big run, kind of an expanding flat thing here. So I can see this probably going to that level and then downside. Let's see if we get a buy setup here. Right, if we get a buy setup there, that would be great because they didn't fall. They did break this, but that was, if you took that sell, you're out of it, right? You took that sell, you're out of it. Let's see if we get a correction here. If we get a correction here, it's one more up. At least one more trade up. That's what we can look for. Pang Yen did go up. We were still expecting a big move down on the Pang Yen. But instead, it kind of made that one more up. It could make more up. You could consolidate here and make one more up. It's still going in a squeeze. It's not a big move to the upside. So let me show you back the picture. If you bought, you probably would have bought the pound Swiss. Yesterday, we considered which one we would buy. And the pound Swiss was the buy for us, not the pound yen. I'll show you the pound Swiss. This is still going up in this squeeze. See that? And it's getting smaller at the top there. So eventually, I think we'll get one of this and then up. Now, the big move is the one you want to focus on. That doesn't mean if you get a buy setup here, you'll not take it. We saw this, but I don't think it was the best buy setup. So if you get a flag here now today, you can consider one more impulse. Just one more impulse. Be careful. This was the one we buy. I'm going to come back to the pound New Zealand. This was the one we bought, and I think all of you know why. Because first, you've got a perfect flat here, and then we anticipate that this could go higher, right? This could come all the way to the top here. So there is potential in buying this back to the top, not the Pang Yen. This could go all the way to the top. So if you remember when this was coming down here, I think you should check that video when we're looking at this, and I said, okay, we expect this to go back here, break this top. Anywhere between here, it can start to fall. Can this be the one that started to move to the upside? A very big move. This was the all-time low. I showed you that, right? This could be the start of the upside, but I don't think so as yet. We don't have enough confirmation to confirm that unless we break out of the structure, right? This broke the all-time low. We had a forecast already for that to happen. So what we're looking at is this the turn for a big move up? Or is this just going to come to this level and make another low? And both of those are very possible. So you can buy this because there's still place to buy it, and then we will see what happens. So if you get a buy today, rather than buy the Pang Yen, buy the Pound Swiss, which is what we did yesterday, right? If my traders were in the room, I was not there when the news happened. I had other things to do that are much more important at the moment than trading, just on the moment, the timing. So we're looking at this, and if this gives you a running flat, yeah, you could go for one more up because this has potential to go. Sorry, Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand went back. We're still in the correction. Nothing changed. Not a buy setup. That wasn't a buy setup. As a matter of fact, we didn't even try to sell it because if they dropped, they could have dropped here and then go back up. See? Once we are in this structure, it could go back up here and then down. Well, they turn from there and go. I expect they'll break the top and then we'll look for the downside. So if you get a buy setup, don't buy this. Buy the Pound Swiss. Right? Pound Swiss I showed you. Pound CAD. Punk CAD, I remember, I want you to go back and look at this webinar when I sold this. And I told you why I closed it here, because potentially it could do this and go back up. It could do 1, 2, 3 and go back up. We wanted to break this stop and then maybe a little higher before it comes down. So you see, you can go back and watch these videos. These are the videos are there for you to watch, and you can see how we made the forecast when this was coming down. We were saying, guys, be careful. You see this? They can repeat that and go. Well, they probably did exactly that. So what we were expecting, getting out of the trade here was a little too early, but good. I'm satisfied with it because I wasn't when this happened. I wasn't in front of the computer. My stop was here. I would have been stopped out of the trade for break even. That was positive because we entered the trade right here and we had a stop here and then we moved it to break even. But good for me. So I got out. And I'm looking for a buy setup here now, which I think if I get a buy setup on all the Pong, this is one you can take. The Pong Swiss is one you can take. I would not buy the Pong New Zealand. I'll not buy the Pong Oz. Right? I'll not buy the Pong Yen. I'll buy this one. I'll buy the Pong Swiss. And I'll buy the Pong Dollar. So if I get buy setups on the Pong, those are the 3 trades I'm looking for. If I get sell, I'll go back and look at all of them. I think the Pong Yen will be my number 1 option if I get sell setup. You know that, right? So New Zealand Yen. This webinar is coming too long and I haven't done all the Forex pairs yet. I think we need to cut some of these. Yep, sorry about that. New Zealand Yen. Okay, this one is coming down more. It is just correcting deep. Let's see. Is it possible they're going to come here? Nothing to that is yet. Just leave it. New Zealand Swiss. Also consolidating. Leave it. New Zealand CAD. Consolidating. You're getting a bigger consolidation here. You might get up move here. Watch if you start to get up move is a buy setup. I can see this so that if you get something like this and you get a flag here, that's a buy. Go for it. Can it go down? Yes, but I don't see. They have to consolidate here a lot before I think down. So I'm thinking more upside right now. CAD Yen. It's kind of stuck in this sideways move here for a long time now. Kind of stuck in this sideways move, this whole big sideways move here for a while. So I think we just be careful of any buy setup at the top. Most likely you want to look for the sell because it's not going up. So, but if it goes on, it's going to drop very fast. CAD Swiss, same, we're at the top. So we start looking for sell setups. When they come back to the top, we would look for sell setups again. So if we get sell setup, and this will take the trade. CAD Yen, CAD Swiss, Swiss Yen, sorry, Swiss Yen. Yeah, you get short-term sell setups. Very short term. That was a sell. This is a sell. This is a sell. All those, they're not going anywhere, right? Silver, probably look for some up move. I can see this here consolidating, dropping back to this level, but the buy here would be the trade you're looking for, not the sell. US oil. It went up a little more. Like yesterday, I said, if you buy, take your profit off. Let's go to the 1 hour. Sorry. I said, if you take the buy, take your profit off. So it did give you a nice flag, actually, a very nice flat, sorry. You had a nice flat here. So if you bought here, you take your profit off. Wait for a flag, buy, take your profit off. Every time it makes an impulse, don't keep it. There's a reason you don't want to keep this. If you keep it too long, you will probably realize the reason, right? UK oil, same thing. If you bought, there's a nice buy setup. If you bought, take it off, take profit, look for another buy setup today. Take it off. As soon as you get profit, it's up. I mean, when it starts to consolidate, take it off, wait for the next consolidation, buy again if you want. At some point, they could drop. We'll have to relook at this, but I still don't see it any other ways yet. Natural gas. Okay, if you sell here, you're tagged. You probably took a small loss or you closed it. Well, you had enough time to close it. You had 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. If they didn't go, you close it. If they didn't close it there, close it here. Because this is an up move when you see that, right? So that's a deep. It didn't go as low as we expected. We expect this to come to about this level. And they went up, making you high too. So be careful. I don't, if you're going to get it, don't like to buy when I have 2 sharp waves like that. I'll probably stay out of it for now if I was trading it. And I don't like the buys for that. This one didn't give you the buy to it pull back. So when it pulled back that deep, you don't get a buy setup. You have to wait for this to come back here, look for a flat, and then go. That would be your trade setup. Same would be for this. No, this one actually gave you the buy. This one had the flag here. So if you put your entry order there, you're in that trade, and that has more to go. So you can either move your stop very tight, take profit, wait for another correction, buy again. S&P 500 gave you a buy because it went nice. You had a correction here. You put an entry order there, you're in that trade, take profit, but wait for another correction, put your entry. And if they're going to reverse from this part, from this top, they can reverse them. If they're going to reverse, you wait for a drop, wait for a correction, then sell. If it makes a flag, you buy more. DAX is upside and it's still going to go break that up, so there's more upside to come. Sorry. AU200 upside, wait for a correction. Wait for this to come back here and then take the trade. That is going to be a flat there for upside. What else we have? Nifty still going up, but it's making some small flags at the top, so you have to take those with caution. Just so you know, right? Because they can at any time drop. Tesla, let's see what we're doing. It's coming back here, but I think this should be more of a correction. This piece here, more of a correction. Come back here, go. I can see it's something like this in there happening. Nothing. You don't have anything to trade there as yet, so probably stay away. Amazon, it's coming down. So if we active, they could crawl up here for a number of times if they want, and then come. But if you get a correction here, it's a sell back to this level. If we get a correction there, it's a sell back to this level. Let's see if we get it. SLR, more downside, so probably just take every correction they make. You got one, you got two, you're getting three. Take every correction they make, right? Because it's going to turn very soon. You can see the divergence. See the divergence, they're going to make a deeper correction. If you got, well, this trade, if you'd have to have an entry order because it didn't come back here and then go. We were expecting it to come back and then go, just took off. So maybe a contracting flat somewhere in here because it just took off. You didn't get the pullback to go. Reliance, well, you can get an entry order for a trade here now, short term. If this comes back here, you get a short-term trade and then downside. I still think it's downside. I don't think we're making a bigger correction. So let's wait and see. If you get a sell setup, you can take the trade. Bitcoin, let's see. We're back at the top here. We almost break the top. So this might be coming some kind of a more complex pattern. I don't see this and this as a pattern there in the middle. Can we look at this as a running flat for a 1, 2, 3? Well, then you still have to come back down, right? Even if that is the case, you're coming down. So you may want to start looking for sell setups now, right? Somewhere here, you could start to get a sell setup for the downside. XRP, like I said, if you want to buy it, short term, because they'll probably stay here for a while and then go. So short term buys are possible, and that means very short term because at any one point in time, they can drop. So the buys are short term, and this is the long term, right? The downside is long term. ETH consolidation, one more up, right? Makes a consolidation here, you get one more up. LTC, yeah, let's go. A little more up. I think a little more up to this level, and then down. And I think that is it. So if I split those in three, I finished that in about an hour plus. If I split it in three, you'll get 130 minutes, and the other two should be about 15, 20 minutes each. So hopefully we can do that. So the videos will be short, and if you don't trade crypto or you don't trade stocks, you don't need to watch all of that. So if you trade it, then you wouldn't need to watch the Forex one. But still share all of them, right? You can still watch them and share them because you will learn patterns from all of them. So thank you very much. If you watched to the end, please share. And I would see all of you on Monday. For my traders, we'll be in the trading room as soon as I close the recording. All right, we're back in the trading room. So thank you for coming. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and see you on Monday. Please don't forget to share everything, like and share and comment.